Imagine this, you're finally free. After decades of grinding away in some soul-crushing job, you buy your dream land, 15 acres of wide-open Texas sky, no neighbors breathing down your neck. No rules but your own. You're hammering in fence posts, smelling fresh pine, tasting real independence for the first time. Then, bam, a white Cadillac Escalade crunches up your driveway. Out steps Karen Deborah Windham, HOA president, real estate shark and certified nightmare in pearls. She doesn't ask. She declares, "Welcome to our community. Jake, you're joining whether you like it or not." Fast forward 6 months, she's filed fake complaints, stolen from the HOA till, threatened your neighbors' mortgages, and now she's planning her annual barbecue for 100 guests, 10 charter buses, live news crews on your private property, without a single signature from you. No knock, no permission, just her smug HOA seal stamped over your deed like it's toilet paper. You could fight back with lawyers and tears, or you could smile, swing the gates wide, let every last bus rumble in. Watch her strut like a queen on your lawn, megaphone blaring her victory to the cameras. Then click. The gate locks, trapping her empire inside. For 100 witnesses, live TV, and her entire criminal house of cards? About to collapse in real time. What happens when a power-hungry tyrant picks a fight with a retired electrician? Who knows exactly how to flip the switch? Buckle up. This is the story of Jake Morrison, one man's war against suburban fascism, and the sweetest lockdown revenge you'll ever hear. If you've ever dealt with an HOA nightmare, hit that like button now, this one's for you. And stick around to the end. I've got a twist that'll make you cheer. Let's dive in. My name's Jake Morrison. At 54, I'd clawed my way through 30 years as an electrician, crawling into attics that smelled like forgot, dreams and mildew, fixing sparks in basements that could fry a man faster than a bad breakup, apartments the size of matchboxes, landlords who treated you like yesterday's trash, barking orders over the phone while you balanced on a ladder in the rain. I dreamed of space, real space, the kind where you can swing a hammer without hitting a wall, or a nosy neighbor's ego, where the only buzz is from cicadas at dusk, not fluorescent lights flickering like a migraine. Then Uncle Eddie died, my old construction warhorse of an uncle who'd saved every dusty penny from site to site, from swinging hammers in the blistering Houston sun to nursing hangovers with black coffee. On midnight shifts, $180,000. Not a fortune by Wall Street standards, but enough for freedom. Enough to buy back the years I'd lost to grease under my nails and calluses on my soul. I found it in Cypress County, Texas, 15.2 acres on the ragged edge of Willowbrook subdivision. The kind of land where the soil's red as rust and fertile as a politician's promises. Pine trees whispering secrets to the wind. Gravel crunching like applause under my boots as I unloaded the moving truck. I could already smell it, the vegetable garden bursting with tomatoes. So ripe they'd split in your hand. The hum of my workshop filled with the sharp tang of solder and sawdust. The survey, crystal clear, 200 feet outside HOA lines. No dues, no drama, just me, my land, and the stars winking like old friends. Day 1. Unpacking boxes in the golden afternoon light. The sun dipping low enough to paint the horizon in fire. The tang of fresh coffee from my thermos mixing with the rich, loamy earth I'd just turned with my post-hole digger. Birds calling overhead like they approved of the new tenant. By nightfall, 3 fence posts sunk deep, straight as a preacher's lie. And I slept like a king under a quilt of quiet so thick you could cut it with a knife. No sirens. No arguments through thin walls. Just the soft hoot of an owl and a distant low of cattle, reminding me this was mine now. Truly mine. Day 2. That's when the thunder rolled in. Not weather tires. Expensive ones, the kind that whisper over pavement like a threat. A white Escalade. Vanity plate screaming Chobos in bold letters that might as well have said tyranny on wheels. Pulls up like it owns the dirt it's kicking up. Out steps her, Karen Deborah Windham, 59 years old. 9 years as HOA president, like she clawed her way to the throne and planned to die there real. Estate agent with a Rolodex full of grudges and a smile sharp enough to draw blood. Picture a praying mantis dipped in Chanel, no. 5, tall, angular, predatory, with pearls that gleamed like tiny handcuffs around her neck, leather portfolio clutched in manicured claws like a grenade ready to pin, heels designer stilettos, red as fresh spilled paint clicking across my half-dug yard like Morse code for surrender now. She doesn't wipe her feet, doesn't even glance at the mud she's tracking, just plants herself there, portfolio under one arm, the other hand extended like she's bestowing a royal favor. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Jake," she chirps, her voice that fake sweet southern drawl. Syrup poured over broken glass. It's the kind of tone that says bless your heart while twisting the knife. "I'm Karen Windham, president of the Willowbrook HOA. And honey, you're going to love being part of our community. Not want to join? Not would you like to consider it? No. Going to love it. Like my opinion, some glitch in her 5-year plan. A bug to be exterminated." She slaps the covenant packet down on my truck tailgate thick as a phone book, stamped with that gold embossed HOA seal that looks official but feels like a curse. $250 initiation fee, she says, tapping it with a blood-red nail. $180 monthly dues, payable the first of every month. We keep things pristine here. Unity, dear. Mavericks like you operating outside the fold they drag down property values. For the rest of us good folks. Her eyes flick over my half-built fence, my toolbox spilling wires like entrails, and her lip curls just a fraction. Judgment in every poor dot I set down my digger. Wipe the sweat from my brow with the back of my hand, leaving a streak of red clay across my forehead like all paint. Unfold my property survey fresh from the county clerk. Ink still crisp and spread it out right there beside her precious packet. The paper crinkles under my calloused fingers. "Ma'am," I say, keeping my voice level as a spirit level, "appreciate the welcome. But according to this county records, plat maps, the work signed 100 feet outside your boundaries. Clear as day. No jurisdiction. I'm good on my own." For a split second, her smile holds like a mask glued in place. Then it doesn't just crack. It shatters. Eyes narrow to slits, sharper than the drill bits in my kit. Her voice drops an octave, all the honey gone, leaving venom. Geography's just paperwork. Honey, lines on a map. We'll fix that. You mark my words. She snaps the portfolio shut like a guillotine, heels pivoting in the dirt, leaving divots like bullet holes. The Escalade's engine purrs to life, exhaust puffing out like dragon breath, and she's gone. But the air? It shifted. Those peaceful lawnmowers humming across the fence line? Now they sounded like distant chainsaws, revving up for the kill. The birds went quiet. And deep in my gut, that electrician's instinct kicked in, the one that smells a short before the fire starts. Karen wasn't welcoming me. She was declaring war. And brother, if she thought a retired spark chaser was easy prey, she had no idea what kind of current she was about to tap into. Texas Property Code 200.00 won its dry reading, but it's gold for guys like me. HOA covenants only buying properties explicitly platted in the subdivision, recorded with the county. Always verify with official records, not some neighbor's gossip or a bossy lady say so. I double-checked mine that night, highlighter in hand under the glow of my shop light. Solid. But solid don't mean safe when you've got a Karen on the hunt. Week 1 hit like a slow-building storm. I'm out there mid-afternoon, sun beating down like God's own spotlight, firing up the circular saw to notch another fence post. The blade winds to life, chewing through cedar with that satisfying zip. Sawdust flying like golden snow. It's 1 p.m. broad daylight. No kids napping, no elderly folks trying to snooze. Legal as church on Sunday. Next morning, envelope in my mailbox. Noise violation citation. Disturbing the peace, it says, typed up all official like. Anonymous complainant. But I know that font. I know that passive-aggressive passive voice. Karen's fantasy world, where power tools are a capital offense after breakfast. I laugh it off at first, crumple it up, toss it in the bin with my coffee grounds. But then week 2, I'm helping Derek Sage, the young dad next door well. Across the subdivision line jumpstart his old Ford after it coughed out on his way to work. Batteries deader than my patience for busybodies. I hook up the cables, give it a rev, and boom, it's purring. Derek slaps my back, owes me a beer. That afternoon, phone rings. Sheriff's office. Got a tip about illegal commercial electrical services operating from a residential address. I explain neighborly favor, no charge, no business. They log it, apologize, but the seed's planted. Doubt, eyes on me. Week 3 seals it. My veggie garden rows of heirloom tomatoes staking up proud, beans climbing like Jack's vine, zucchini swelling fat as my forearm. I spend a Saturday morning weeding, knees in the dirt. The smell of turned soil and green growth filling my lungs like therapy. Peaceful. Productive. Next day, code enforcement truck in my drive. Unsightly vegetation disrupting neighborhood aesthetics, the report reads. The inspector's a good OL boy, chewing on a toothpick, squinting at my plot like it's a crime scene. Sir, this says you've got an illegal farm operation. Health hazard. I show him the ordinance residential gardening's fine, long as it's not commercial. He shrugs, tips his hat and leaves. But the message, loud and clear, this wasn't random. This was systematic. A drip-drip torture designed to wear you down till you sign on the dotted line just for sleep. Here's what Karen didn't bank on. Electricians are born troubleshooters. 30 years chasing ghosts in wires flickering lights that point to a background. Outlets that hum with hidden faults. You learn patterns. You document. You don't react. You trace back to the source. That first night, after the garden inspector's taillights faded, I sat on my porch with a notebook and a lantern, the crickets chirping like a jury, jotted every incident, date, time, details. Pulled out my old work phone, still had the camera app with timestamps. Set it to snap the mailbox every morning. And yeah, I splurged on a couple hidden cams, mounted high on the fence posts, wired to my laptop. Motion activated, crystal clear. If this was war, I'd fight it with evidence, not emotion. The smell of fresh cedar mulch around my garden started to mingle with something sharp of victory. Maybe. Or just the ozone before a storm. Because if Karen wanted to wage total war against a retired spark jockey with time on his hands, $180K in the bank, and 3 decades of outsmarting faulty systems, she was about to learn the hard way, you never mess with a man who knows exactly how to cut the power to your whole damn operation. Month 1. And Karen launches what I'd later dub the parking siege. It starts subtle, like a frayed wire you don't notice till it arcs. Every morning at 6 a.m. sharp right when my alarm buzzes and the coffee's brewing. Her white Escalade rolls up, not blocking the drive outright. Oh no, Karen's too clever for traffic tickets, but parked halfway across the apron. Nose kissing the edge just enough that pulling out means grinding my truck tires into the grass. Chewing up sod like I'm tilling a new row. The first time I step out in my robe, steam rising from my mug, and ask polite as pie, morning. Karen, mind scooting over? Kinda need my driveway. She rolls down the window, that plastic smile welded on. Pearls glinting in the dawn light. It's a public street, Jake. Everyone's got rights. Maybe join the HOA get priority parking perks. Audacity? Breathtaking. She's holding my access hostage, turning my escape route into her personal guilt trip. Within a week, she recruits the cavalry. 3 HOA board lackeys rotating shifts. Patricia with her sensible Honda, wedged to feet 8 inches from my apron close enough to force the grass detour. Treasurer Ryan in his jacked-up pickup, hogging 3 feet 1 inch, idling like a threat during their strategy huddles. From 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., there's always a vehicle perched there, a metal sentinel. I catch snippets through the open windows laughing about my antisocial vibes, speculating on my suspicious workshop tinkering. Apparently, fixing my own gate latch makes me a threat to homeland security. The hot asphalt radiates upward like a griddle, baking the air thick with exhaust and entitlement. Karen escalates to the digital front. Next door posts pop up, neighbors who think they own the street's thoughts. With a blurry pic of my truck half on the lawn, comments flood in her echo chamber of loyalists, clucking about plummeting values, community standards, how one rogue holdout poisons the well. Most folks would cave, file a limp complaint that vanishes into City Hall's black hole, or just stew in silence. Me, 30 years troubleshooting taught me issues don't fix themselves. You spec it out, code check it, document till it's bulletproof. Remember that customer back in '05? Guy got his shady contractor nailed for skimping on electrical clearances. Turns out municipal codes are nitpicky as a nun. So one humid evening, post-sunset glow fading to purple, I crack open the city ordinances on my laptop, the fan whirring like a co-conspirator. There it is, March 7th. Section 14, parked vehicles must maintain at least 4 feet clearance from residential driveway. Approaches, golden. I grab the measuring tape, that old Stanley with the worn leather pouch, and the time stamp up on my phone. Karen's Escalade, 3 feet 2 inches. Patricia's Honda, 2 feet 8. Ryan's truck, 3 feet 1. Every single one in violation. Filing the complaints feels like Christmas in July. GPS pins. High-res photos from 3 angles, measurements etched in pixels. I hit send on the parking enforcement portal and wait. 12 days later, the neighborhood wakes to a new symphony, the scratch of pens on tickets, the flutter of yellow slips under wipers. Karen racks up $8 at $85 a pop, $680 flushed on her power play. I watch from my kitchen window, sipping black coffee that tastes like justice, as her face turns the color of her nail polish when the officer hands her the stack. The idling cars during their meets, now they draw fines like flies to honey. There's something primal in it, watching illegal intimidation boomerang back with a price tag. Karen's siege? Crumbling under its own weight. But here's the pivot, the mistake that turns annoyance to apocalypse. Instead of folding her cards, Karen doubles down. Spectacularly. She pivots to neighborhood watch meetings every Tuesday evening. 12 to 15 sycophants clogging the street right in front of my house. Flashlights bobbing, clipboards rustling. The murmur of safety concerns that smell like strategy sessions. From my electrician days, I knew Texas's one-party consent for recordings. So those hidden cams? Rolling 24/7 audio crystal, capturing every whisper. What they're discussing. Not stray cats or porch pirates. No blueprints for breaking me. I hit play on the footage that first Tuesday. Volume low, heart thumping like a bass line. Karen's voice. Tinny but unmistakable. We make life so uncomfortable he begs to join just for a quiet night. Flood him with violations till he cracks. Board member Patricia chimes in. More code reports his shed's an eyesore. Another voice. Ryan maybe. Spread word he's a loner type. Dangerous. They're conspiring on asterisk public property asterisk, where I can legally tape every felony syllable. Harassment plot. Plain as a burnt wire. The irony? Chef's kiss? Karen's escalation from solo bully to mob boss hands me conspiracy evidence on a silver platter. Her control freakery made her sloppy, and now I've got prosecutorial catnip. Meanwhile, the neighborhood's undercurrents shift like sand in a storm, subtle, but seismic. Maria Santos, 73-year-old widow to doors down, starts slipping tamales through my fence slats. Corn husks steaming with pork and spices that waft like peace offerings. For the strong one, she says in her soft accent, eyes twinkling with quiet rebellion. Derek and Emma sage the young couple with their newborn. All bleary smiles and diaper bags don't pick sides out loud. But I catch Emma waving from her porch, a tentative thumb up when Karen's Escalade prowls by. And Frank Rodriguez, retired sheriff's deputy, built like a oak stump with a mustache that could hide secrets. He starts casually strolling during those Tuesday huddles, notepad in hand, jotting like he's chronicling the Dead Sea Scrolls. The air during those sessions? Surreal Maria's spices drifting on the breeze, clashing with the manufactured hostility. Or under a Texas sunset bleeding orange and pink. Karen thinks she's cinching the noose around my neck. Truth, she's weaving her own scaffold, rallying the very allies I'd need for the counter-strike. Sometimes, the smartest play against a bully is handing Em the shovel and filming the dig. And Karen? She's grabbing a backhoe. That parking ticket humiliation should have been Karen's wake-up call, a slap from the universe. Saying back off, but no. It lit a fuse in her, turning petty tyrant into full-on villain. What came next? Midnight ops. Pure cloak and dagger, suburban style. First ping from my motion sensors. 11:47 p.m. Escalade creeps along my fence line. Like a shark circling chum. She kills the lights, parks across the street, and stalks the perimeter, flashlight beam slicing the dark, testing gate latches with gloved hands. Snapping pics of my camera angles like she's casing a bank vault. Heart pounding, I watch live feed on my phone, propped against the pillow. The blue glow casting shadows on my bedroom walls. She's mapping me. Planning .night to, the measuring tape comes out. I zoom the cam, there's Karen, spray paint can in hand, marking my oaks for tent positions. X's on tree trunks, strings stretched like crime scene tape. Treating my 15 acres like her personal concert venue, consent be damned. The chemical tang of paint seeps through an open window, mixing with the night's humidity. Night 3. Escalation to felony territory. 2 a.m. Sensors scream. Feed shows her slinking to my utility shed, bolt cutters glinting under moonlight. The grind of metal on metal echoes faint, but furious as she hacks at the hasp, aiming to swipe my folding tables and camp chairs for her phantom party. Every instinct screams confront, storm out with a flashlight, yell till the cops come. But 30 years in the trade taught me, let the fault propagate. See the full damage before you cut power. That's when the evidence sings. Derek's Mutt Big OL lab mix starts baying like Judgment Day. Karen bolts, cutters clattering to the gravel, but the cams, they feast. License plate, face in profile, lit by her own dropped flashlight. Attempted burglary, time stamped. Morning light filters through the blinds as I brew coffee strong as regret, and I pivot to paper warfare electrician style. First, certified letter demanding fence repair reimbursement, video embedded like a landmine. Second, cease and desist, CCD to the whole board, warning of recordings. Third, notice that all future chats go on tape for the lawyers. Each one tracked, signed for, building a fortress of legalese. Karen's riposte, a doozy. False police report. Claims I threatened her during a heated property line chat that never happened, trying to paint me as the redneck aggressor. Cops not polite at noon, badges gleaming. I invite Em in, pour iced tea sweating on coasters and cue the footage. No threats, just her midnight bolt cutter ballet at 2 a.m. officers' faces. Priceless brows furrowing like they're watching a bad soap. They pay her a visit that afternoon, warning light slow but firm, false reports are a crime, ma'am. Reconsider the neighborly approach. Watching a 59-year-old realtor get schooled on felony 101. Cathartic, like flipping a breaker after months of flickering. But the real win? Her credibility. That porcelain facade cracks wide open. Neighbors whisper. Texts buzz. The emperor's got no clothes and they're all seeing the stains. That evening, as the sun dips and fireflies wink like conspirators, Randy Kowalski shows at my door. HOA treasurer for 15 years, a mousy accountant type with glasses perpetually fogged, looking like he swallowed a grenade. Jake, he mutters, glancing over his shoulder like the feds are tailing. Can I come in? Got something that'll blow the lid off. The aroma of fresh brewed coffee fills my kitchen as we settle at the oak table scratched from years of Uncle Eddie's poker games. Randy unloads folders like he's defusing a bomb, invoices yellowed at the edges, checks with shaky signatures. Karen's been skimming. For years, my electrician brain lights up frauds, just a bad circuit. Once you spot the first overload. Landscaping bills 40% bloated $8,000 for what? Her personal azalea trim? Emergency repairs rubber stamped with outboard nods. Prices jacked like a bad carburetor. But the killer? Recurring wires to Windham Property Management LLC, Karen's ghost company, never voted on. She's forging my sig, Randy whispers, hands trembling like leaves in a gale. Over $30,000, Jake. I suspected, but alone. Suicide. We pour over it till midnight, the clock ticking like a countdown, coffee going cold. This wasn't neighbor beef anymore. This was larceny. And Randy? He just handed me the master key to Karen's vault of sins. Her unraveling accelerated like a runaway truck. Intimidation squads door to door, pressuring grannies to petition my eviction. Threats to Derek and Emma. Property values tank without my barbecue, think of the baby. Fake Facebook ghosts spreading Jake's a hoarder smears. Surveillance stints escalade parked hours across the street. Binoculars glinting. STARING like a hawk at roadkill. Frank documents it all, his deputy notebook filling pages, crosses into stalking. Per statute 40.07. The evening air thickens with Maria's tamale spices as I realize Karen's not harassing. She's imploding. Desperation birthing felonies left and right. Witnesses piling up like storm clouds. Randy's docs were bullets. Her breakdowns, the chamber. Sometimes victories, just patience, a live wire waiting for the touch. Karen's desperation crests when she turns the county bureaucracy into her personal bludgeon. If whispers won't break me, paperwork avalanche will. Monday dawn, code enforcement rolls up befuddled officer with a clipboard thicker than a Bible. 14 violations, all Karen filed. Fiction gold. 40-foot shipping container blocking drainage that's my tomato trellis. Illegal dumping op compost bin of eggshells. Commercial vehicle storage, my truck, parked legal. Unpermitted sheds, my garden shed, grandfathered. Noise from industrial tools at noon. The inspectors wandering my acres to hours, toothpick working overtime, scratching his Stetson. Sir, report says massive container here, points at zucchini vines and hazardous waste ring over yonder. I nod to the bin. If banana peels are WMDs, lock me up. He finds zilch, apologizes profuse, folks wasting our time with fairy tales, and peels out. But I remember the trade. Bureaucrats loathe time thieves and false reports bite back. File day FOA that afternoon Texas mandates 10-day turnaround. Docs land like manna. Karen's life factory exposed. 14 fabrications, some describing ghost buildings county-wide. My counter, precision scalpel. Complaints on *** sins. Fence posts she accidentally rammed during a drive-by. Pool raggers past curfew, bass thumping like artillery. Unpaid parking fines stacking like Jenga. Mine? Photos, timestamps, GPS, Frank's affidavits. Suddenly, inspectors swarm *HOA turf. Karen's drowning in her own red tape, forms breeding like roaches. The poetry? Exquisite. Her boomerang buries her. Whispers spread Maria outs a fake garden beef from last spring. Derek confesses baby cries flagged as nuisance noise. Emma's eyes well recounting outdoor play bans. Frank lays timelines on my table, Maria's tamales steaming beside, spices cutting the ink stink. See? Challenge her, get violations into weeks flat. Question budgets? Boom. Compliance hell. Skip meetings? Noise blitz. It's a machine, Jake is of it. We map it, patterns like circuit diagrams. Abuse woven into the HOA's wiring. Not petty, systemic, criminal. Karen's fatal fumble, extortion pivot. House calls turn thuggish, property values plummet without unity. Dear. To elders, Medicare audits love unstable hoods. To Derek, young families need leaders like me for the kids' sake. Then she targets Bobby Kellerman, disabled vet, to Afghanistan tools under his belt, VA home his sanctuary. Karen knocks. Coos about refi troubles if petitions go unsigned, her realty ties complicating deals. Bobby survived IEDs. Suburban shade? Laughable. He tapes it doorbell cam gold plays for me that night, voice steady as rebar. Psycho threatened my mortgage cause I backed you, using her network for financial hits. That's extortion, Jake. Felony flavor. The audio? Devastating. Karen's drawl, oily. Non-cooperators find transactions, sticky. My contacts in lending. Appraisals they talk. Confessing racketeering on Mick, targeting a vet's roof over his head. Frank and I huddle, coffee bitter as truth, as she crosses into Rico Waters' extortion under color of office. No more harassment suit. This criminal empire takedown. Her control lust, self-inflicted noose. Randy's Tuesday drop detonates it all. 3 years docs splayed on my dining table like autopsy photos musty paper reek. Clashing with Maria's Cuban coffee, strong as resolve. She joins, 40 years bookkeeping sharpening her gaze like a hawk. Dios mío, she hisses, glasses perched. $8,000 landscaping? For invisible flowers? Patterns erupt. Repairs 40% over tree trim $800 to $1,200. Pool doubles for emergencies. Smoking gun. Windham LLC payouts. Karen's shadow firm, board blind. Frank spots the forgery. That's not your John Hancock, Randy. Treasurer Blanches. Never approved. Months of it. Tally? $31,847 siphoned. Rage boils, but Maria's eagle eye ices it. April invoice $2,000 for $100 beautification at my address. Non-HOA land, phantom work. Not theft, Frank growls. Fraud cocktail dogs faked, deception baked. Randy's kicker chills blood, she's for sales. Folders spill horror 3 families hounded into fire sales via violation tsunamis. Then listing with Karen for quick escape. Commissions? $18K extortion tax. Protection racket, I spit, bile and caffeine churning. Submit or sell crushed. Frank nods, detective fire a light. Embezzlement, mail fraud, RICO hooks civil rights abuses too. Decades if they stack, silence drops, clock ticking doom. No overzealous press. Organized crime, families fractured for profit. Next move. Randy ventures, ghost pale. I grin, mentor's wisdom echoing, overload the grid, then rebuild clean. Let her peek. 3 weeks, barbecue on asterisk my asterisk turf for 100 eyes, TV glare. She'll blab trespass, prove contempt on air. Jasmine drifts in, sweet as reckoning. Karen's event? Her guillotine gala. Next morn's newsletter. Nuke. Annual BBQ at Community Green Space, 1847 Maple Ridge asterisk my asterisk deed. Karen signed, consent void. $5,000 blown, $3,000 catering, $800 band, $1,200 tents. Fraud confetti on letterhead. My dining room, war room. Frank's folders stack like bricks. Maria sorts finances surgical. Empanada's sent the siege. Loco but sloppy, shisks at forgeries. Randy's 15-year archive? Credibility crematorium. Derek, Emma pledge window cams. Bobby vet tactics, flanker ego. Even Mrs. Patterson, 80-year lib, dives in research wizardry rivaling FBI. Frank maps aerials. Narcissus play shield bluff emergency if you balk. Attorney brief. Texas gem. Detained trespassers legal citizens arrest on your dirt. Warehouse copper thief lesson reborn. Security revamp for $1,000 to $100 for 12 for K-cams, night audio, cloud ironclad. Alerts ping my phone like veins. Gate moored. Genius. Bus wide. App locked. House only reopen. Manual backup no fail safe for her. Frank drills in. Her prison, her keyless. Medium masterstroke. Jessica, Maria's newsy daughter. Hooks channel 7. Human interest cover. Live when gates clang. She plots. Frank scripts me. Dignity. Jake, your rights defender. She's chaos queen. Porch vigil evav. Plans etched. Contingencies caged. Evidence alphabetized. Irony. Her harassment odyssey births a broadcast beheading. Jasmine perfumes the field. Tomorrow, her throne topples, my acres avenge. Sometimes revenge is shovel gifting. Karen grabs dynamite. Karen's barbecue week. Descent to delirium. Calculated to carnage. Monday 11:47 p.m. Censors wail Karen. Cat burglar chic. Picks my backlog. Then window prees my shop. Scrapes screech like nails on karma. Thuds blast. She flees can feast. Plate. Profile. Tools. B and E platter. Frank witnesses feed. Chain of custody locked. Tuesday. Pihaya Martinez. Quits day 1. Calls warning. Wanted trash dives. Tailing visitor snaps. Called it stalking. She tripled pay. No psychos. Pro box at her obsess. Doomsday sign. Wednesday Friday. Bribe crescendo. Envelopes at door. $1,000 wed rent for BBQ. $1 to $5K through frantic pleas. $5K free sweat beading. Doorbell tapes at bribery bouquet. Guilt glowing. Voicemails, 23 from 8 p.m. minus to a.m., pleading to threats, final, sabotage, regretted, connections in realty, banks, city, problems unimaginable, intimidation symphony, time-stamped. Frank replays, coffee steaming, felony confetti threats, position abuse, Darrow couldn't dig her out, DA packet flies investigations ignite pre-party, Thursday emergency meet, petitions or values crater, door-to-door delirium screams at Mrs. Sage's no, Friday, kid recruit Nader, Tommy Martinez, 10, dog walking, $20 to watch mean neighbor, parents rage report, child endangerment caps her rap sheet, board bolds, removal whispers swell, Friday night, Karen unmoored erratic as arc flash, victory's taste, concern-laced, tomorrow, not take down, breakdown broadcast. Saturday dawns cinematic disaster reel, 7:15 a.m., catering rig rumbles, diesel haze in heat, kitchen window vigil, coffee warming cheeks, Karen deploys in white suit, gate march imperial, through, to hesitant crews, private signs mocked, door pound thunder, open, Jake, childish, shriek for news mix and hinged opus, doorbell rolls her rage, honeysuckle mocks her bile as neighbors gawk, 8:30, locksmith ploy Rodriguez balks, ownership proof, Karen waves HOA gospel, I profit deed, scam alert, he booms for cams, falls off, cops, 911 perjury call, he's blocking community asset, cops arrive, ITM, docs deluge, Karen rants HOA supremacy, Williams trespass, ma'am, cancel, tantrum tirade extremist lectures for badges, 10:30, buses invade 10 hulks gridlocking burbs for 100 spilling confused into heat hell, kids fuss, elders wilt, disabled stranded Karen's lies toll, she orates amid snarl, cooperation conquers extremists, trespass soliloquy, Jessica taping viral venom, 11:30, Miles jam, temps scorch, Karen TV preens under private placards, checkmate clock ticks, 11:45, Justice Q, remote in hand, I stride crowd hushes bar engines growl, Karen crows, reasonable at last, gates yawn, cheers cascade as buses, trucks flood for 100 shade seek under oaks, Karen queens it interviews gloat, persistence prevails, responsibilities bind, 30 minutes idle, laughter, plates clink, her basque brief, 12:15, McGrab enjoying my acres, Karen's claim permission nil, silence crashes, folder flourish, $31,000 embezzled, extortions via terror, color flees her, lunge foiled, outburst thanks, gate stride slow burn, trespassing now, Texas detains till law, remote raises, McDrop, Karen, click snap seals fate, panic symphony, buses futile, Karen claws fence, heels helter-skelter, confessed felonies for 100 attest, Williams arrests, victory zings with heat, she slumps broadcast blaze, cuffs click sweeter than gates, Williams hauls her, screams scraping gravel legend born, DA blitz, embezzlement, trespass, fraud, feds, abuse license lost, board boots, audits avalanche, civil triple, $95,000 restitution, plea, 18 months prob, repay full, 200 service hours, eternal no contact, healing, true prize, Randy transparence reigns, monthly reports, $200 approvals, oversight real, my settlement seeds justice fund while families aided year one, Frank, me doc coaching, Maria, honorary Obwelly to Tuesday to Molly's, coffee, Tails warming shop, Derek, Emma godfather me to Sophia, Tommy's Marth Huddle's pencil scratch youth, Frank, partners property rights defense 127 wins, 93% strike, Bobby's vet BBQ's heel burgers sizzle with service yarns, bonds HOA proof, ripples to 0.3 meters views viral, for 100 emails, docs in 12 states, Willowbrook Act, oversight steal, abuse criminalized, 3 Pres resigns, task forces bloom, Eddie's dream, 8-acre preserve, Audubon Thai kids learn wilds, butterfly garden memorials, mending conflict scars, freedom fest swells to 800 stories fuel, Smoke sense triumph. Year on, zero beefs, crime minus 23%, values plus 12%, meetings, assets not autocracy, resistance proves, 6 months topple 9-year reign, revenge, not even build radiant from rubble, lessons for warriors. Share your HOA hell below I read, aid legally, subscribe Karen stories crushes corruption, forges fortitude, karma crushed, like, comment, sub next meltdown awaits.